Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, changes. Consideration of any changes or additions to the agenda. I have some additions that we have to put on. I got 3 of them for new business and 1 for old. One of the new business is for Saturday road closures, and Linda's here to talk. The other one is the cemetery commission, and I know Dennis is going to speak to that. The other one for new business is the contract for Coda and Coda for the fuel for this building. And on old business, it's junk ordinance. We received a letter regarding Station Road last Friday. Any other changes or additions, Diane, Jeff?
No, I have none.
Okay. Okay. Approval of the June 10th minutes. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve June 10th minutes as written.
I'll second the motion.
The ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. I'll just make a clarification. The ayes have it, but there is a typo on the agenda. It's June 9th, not the 10th.
Oh,
Okay, moving on, highway reports. Reports, transfer station and the highway, Clinton.
We've been working on our grants. We're almost done with that. We should be done by hopefully Friday. That's for the MRDP, Better Back Roads Grant. We've been doing roadside mowing. We have a lot of trees that came down that we gotta go around and clean up brush, I know. But we'll get there. It's just taking time. The winter sand, are we gonna do an RFP for that, or are we just gonna get pricing? I've been getting pricing.
I think that's how we've been doing
That's okay.
the last few years.
Yeah, I think
Once or twice we did an
We did
RFP,
an
and
RFP.
another years
Yeah.
But Casella's is coming in the cheapest for winter sand again, so, if there's not a problem with not getting an RFP, but I did get 4 pricings. Pike's $11.35 for the regular sand. Casella's is $12.75 for the manufactured stone, which we've been using. Hunter's is $14.25, and then SLC or Wallingford crushed stone is $15 a ton. So I'd like to make a motion to go with Casella's if possible.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we use Casella's for our winter sand, and they'll be bringing that in with the big, large trucks, right?
Yeah.
So that'll be quicker and easier.
Yeah, and it was the same, basically the same price as it was last year.
I'll second it. The ayes?
Aye.
I'm recusing myself.
The ayes have it. How's the transfer station?
Well, that's another subject, but we can definitely go into executive session later, but, a couple weeks ago, on a Wednesday, I was there. There was trash in the metal containers. There was only one attendant over the last weekend, the 4th of July, because somebody had left and left one attendant there, and stuff got dropped off that shouldn't have got dropped off. So, yeah. We need to go into executive session.
How's it been going now that the open tops are?
They're still there. I didn't,
If they weren't full yet.
they weren't full, I mean, they're just about full, so if we're gonna pull them and get rid of them, now's the time to do it.
There is a contract.
Not on the metal or the open
It
top.
was mentioned in the contract,
Should have.
and that doesn't expire until October 31st.
I think they'll be, I think you could call and ask them and see how they.
I believe the contracts for the zero sort and the trash.
The contract does mention them, but there's the disposal fee, but the rental fee per month for each of those is $50.
For the open, or for the, yeah, we would just return them and say we don't want them anymore. So we can always pull them back if we ever wanted them.
Right.
So contact Casellas and make a request.
You could probably just call them, tell them to don't bring it back.
Yeah.
Pull it and don't bring it back.
Yeah.
Might just be as simple as that.
Question? I missed,
Yes.
has it been decided to take away both the metal and the
Yes.
miscellaneous? They're
Yes,
gone.
yes.
Okay.
And,
Thanks.
and again, as Clinton just said, there was trash thrown in the metal container that doesn't belong there. And again, unfortunately, people are not responsible to do the right thing, which hurts everybody. Yes, Carol?
Are we doing away with that shed? Because if we don't do away with it, the town is still gonna have to pay for that stuff to get thrown out. So if you're doing away with those, you need to do away, I would think you'd wanna do away with that shed, so it's not costing the town money to have the boys take it to get rid of it.
Doesn't the shed content go into the trash dumpster?
Some of it's too
Some.
big probably.
Yeah.
Bigger items that won't go in the, break the compactor probably.
And again, you know my feelings on the swap shop, because again, the town eats the cost on the disposal of whatever doesn't get consumed by the people, so.
There's always Goodwill to drop stuff off at.
Mhm.
Like it's not like it's
Correct.
just can't there.
Correct. There's other options,
Black River Good Neighbors.
some of the stuff off.
Newsflash, it's free.
Yep.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, that works
That's right.
well. Tried that this
And-
weekend.
That was what I was going to mention, the news flash. So I'd say maybe the select board put out something encouraging people to use the news flash to give their stuff away.
There's also like a community Facebook page too that you
Yeah.
can post there.
Correct.
Yeah.
If you're detailed with the description, people can take it.
Mark, you
Yes.
have a new Habitat for Humanity. They took over the Mission Church, which is behind U-Haul,
Mm-hmm.
and they have
Yep.
moved to Drive Church. So they had a fire at the other place. A lithium battery caused the fire. They lost a lot of donation. Beautiful furniture, clothing. What a shame.
Yep. So there is options, but I'm just one poor person. I don't know how everybody else feels about
Definitely doesn't make sense
the shed.
to, we're gonna have an issue.
Correct.
It already was full of, probably because the individual that wasn't there is the individual I think that cleans it out, and it was rolling out of the door on Saturday.
Oh, boy.
I did take a lamp, but
There was something there for you. That's nice.
So I don't know how the rest of the board feels about it.
Touchy subject, but it doesn't seem to make sense to keep it if we don't have a place to get
agree.
rid of the stuff.
So,
Like from a purely functional issue,
Yes.
it's not gonna work.
yes. Especially, a lot of the stuff goes into the construction container and or the metal container or trash. So, or electronics going to the recyclable. So, is there a motion? One way or the other?
Or think about it. There's a lot of fear.
Or we can revisit
And
it
revisit it one
next month.
Yeah, I think definitely have to
So,
do something.
You can always put it in Mary's house.
What'd you say? It's not gonna go away, right?
No, it's gotta, it's gotta get cleaned out.
one way or another, whatever's in there has to be taken care of prior to the open tops leaving. So,
Why don't
if,
we do what we did with the open top and say we're doing it effective on the date?
yep, I'm okay with that. If you
Not
wanna take,
immediately, but like
if you wanna push it out until
end of the month.
August 1st or 2nd, whatever, I'm okay with that. Yes,
Mark, if you, when you get rid of the swap shop, the building, isn't there somebody in town you could sell that to and they could store their firewood in? That'd be great, take it home.
we
And
we
give
could
a
have
donation.
used it for a warming shed.
Why don't we say September 1st, as August 1st is only a couple of weeks away.
I'm okay with
Yeah,
that.
I would have
I'm okay
had
with
a
that.
nice
I'll make a
warming
motion
shed.
to
Yeah,
end the swap shed.
that would make a great
Shops.
firewood.
Shed.
As of shed as of September 1, due to the issue of not being able to dispose of the items and the burden
Kevin's looking for something.
On the town.
on the transfer station in the town.
I'll second it. The ayes?
Aye.
Jeff, all take more lamps.
I know. Well, here's another question, guys, because the 4th of July being a holiday on a Saturday when the guys are working, do we not want to have the guys at the transfer station have holidays off as well as our road crew? And all the rest of our,
That'd be fair.
It seems reasonable.
That seems fair.
because it doesn't make sense to make them work on a holiday when
Yeah.
everybody
No, I
else
agree.
isn't.
I agree with that. They shouldn't work holidays.
Do we have to make that a motion or just say there will be no more holidays for?
Probably we should get a calendar out and like at the beginning of
Yeah.
the organizational meeting, set the days.
Set the days that they're going to not be on. Yes.
Yeah.
Most holidays are on Monday.
Right, there's
Yeah.
very
Very.
few that.
Right.
July 4th, Christmas.
Right. And I agree, they shouldn't be there on, especially New Year's or Christmas and stuff like that. 4th of July.
Carol,
Yes, Carol.
Then why don't we just make it a decision tonight saying, if it's a holiday on a Wednesday, Saturday, or Sunday, when
Yep.
it's open, it's automatically closed, so we don't have to
No,
look at a
I'm-
calendar, just saying all holidays.
I'm okay with that on a normal open dump schedule.
Yes,
Yep, I'm okay with that.
Would
Okay.
we, like if it closed on a Saturday in the summer, might we substitute the Sunday? And ask if they want to work the Sunday or not to lose a day, I don't know.
Well, if it's a holiday and they're not gonna be there Saturday, they probably don't wanna be there Sunday.
You know,
yeah, because they may be off with family and all that
That's not
stuff.
Right.
fair. Yeah,
You're right.
be fair, yeah.
Right.
Well, there's also, on the other hand, there's a lot of people who are up for the holiday. What are they gonna do with their trash?
There you go.
Same place as
No. So, I'll make a motion to have the dump attendants off the holidays that fall on their scheduled work days.
effective immediately.
Yes.
Well, second.
The ayes?
Aye.
Did you get all that thing?
Yes, I did.
She's still working on it. She's doing great.
You know what the electronic, agreement
So we were sent the agreement, which will run now until December 2027.
It's the Amendment 6 to Vermont Standard Plan. National Center for Electronic Recycling. For good and valued consideration, the receipt and sufficiency of which are hereby acknowledged, NCER and collector, intending to be bound, agreed as following. Background, NCER and collectors are parties to the Vermont E-Cycles State Standards Program 2020 Collector Subcontract Agreement Date 12/22/21 Agreement. Agreement extension, again on July 1st, 26 and expiring December 31st, 2027. Affected amendments except as expressly modified by this amendment. The agreement as previously amended by the NCER and collector shall remain in full force in effect, and the party shall continue to perform under the agreement in accordance with its original terms. So this is, I'll make a motion to accept Amendment 6 to Vermont Standards Plan as written and as read. Is there a second?
Well, second.
The ayes?
Aye.
Aye. I will sign it right now. Left it in my other truck.
You did very well for no glasses.
Trust me, I was training.
No.
Okay, that's the electronics recycling agreement. The Casella contract expires,
October 31st of this year.
so there is really nothing we need to do with that.
No, I just had it there for our transfer station issues.
Okay, so we'll readdress that before October 31st. Okay, listers report, Mary?
Okay, well, we've got, all the grievances have been heard, and we had 2 appeals. We've already scheduled a BCA meeting for those. We also had telecom grievances, but that just goes straight through. The state evaluated the property, so the state will argue with anything. So, let's see, so we actually had 4 grievances, and 2 of them have been appealed. We have 1 errors and omissions. I think it's the second one in the history of the town. It's been a lot of years. We made a mistake, and when we did one of the transfers, and we didn't see that the property that was being sold was only partial. So we had it put into the grand list as a new owner with all of the property, and that was between the, let me see. Jan and Iva Kudella, and they were the sellers, and Jason and Judith Wilhide were the buyers. So we had to correct their properties and have them reevaluated, or reevaluated, I should say. And all that's left is for the town clerk to fill this out, but she thought that you should see this, so only one copy, so that's for you guys. Take a peek at. And last but not least, we are asking the board to waive the late homestead declaration penalty, which we have done forever, for and that's about all. We've been busy. We're almost ready to do tax bills.
Okay, I'll make a motion to waive,
Do we need to do the errors and omissions?
I don't think you have to do anything with that, other than just be aware that it's happened, because it is a change in the grand list.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a motion to waive the homestead penalty, late penalty, filing.
I'll second that.
The ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Anything else, Mary?
I think that's about it for now. More than what I thought I had. Thank God.
Any
Hey,
questions
guys,
for Mary? Thank you, Mary. Okay, town treasurer's update, Mark?
Okay, major update is the two major updates. Last fiscal year is closed and all the revenues and everything have been entered. Still have to reconcile everything, but right now it looks like we're only $15,000 in the red for the entire fiscal year, which is incredibly good. So I'm very comfortable with that. There have been I found a couple of invoices that were paid twice, so we have credits going into this year. So, you know, the reconciliation process is ongoing, but I don't expect anything major. On a more important note, which I'm sure everybody has tomatoes ready to throw at my head, is the tax rates for the upcoming year. We do have somebody from Denver coming in Monday at 1 o'clock. I do not expect that they're gonna find that we did anything in error in calculating the rates. So, the municipal rate for raising the money that was passed in the budget in March, the town rate is actually down 5.41% from last year. Offsetting that regrettably is the state homestead rate is up 7.82%. The state non-homestead education rate is up 8.79%. Combined homestead rate for combined homestead, town and state is 5.52% increase, and the non-homestead rate is a 6.2% increase, which, considering all the all the news reports and media, I think that's probably not so bad. You can come close to double digits. Obviously, we don't have control over the majority of that, but I guess I am saying that I guess you need to approve the town municipal tax rate of 0.4569 cents per thousand assessed to raise the money that was in the budget, 1,333,990 plus the local agreement for the veterans and the Oddfellows Hall. And then we're ready to bring tax bills. Sorry. Oh, I guess I also need your approval. Tax due date will be November 2nd, first Monday of November is what is typical. So that is November 2nd, 2026. And my understanding is the discount rate, the discount date is 30 days after we ultimately mail the tax bills, which my hope is that we will be able to start doing next Monday or Tuesday right after we meet with them, and ensure that everything is right. So it's time to get the bills out starting next week.
And then start printing.
I'm sorry, did you say that?
That's good, because they'll be out by the end of the month.
Yes, and then 30 days later will be the discount due date, the discount date.
Right.
November 2nd is the tax due date.
So is there a motion to set the rates
Okay,
to be collected?
The surplus applied, or just
That was what you did at the budget.
budget,
Yeah.
does
at
that,
town meeting.
does that still follow?
That's exactly, that is,
Does that,
yes, it's
Okay.
exactly this.
well, it follows that, but like, are we on track to actuals this year? Which it looks like we are.
Yes.
We're better than actual.
We're better than
We're better
actual.
than,
Yes,
we'll actually have, we're adding to our surplus.
I would believe so, based on what you
Yeah.
told me about some grants, what Clint just told me about, I believe that to be true, yes.
Because it looks like per this report, we're under, well, our expenses are, our incomes are better, right? By 137. Like on page 3.
Yep, yeah,
And then,
yes, we took in 137 more than budgeted. And we spent,
looks like we're net negative.
net negative 122,000, 15,000 short net negative. I'm not gonna test to the budget numbers because I don't know what you're in, because if you look at like reserve fund expenses, we actually did 277,000, it was only budgeted for 38.9. I just believe numbers. I think we have to look at the bottom line, not the individual line.
I think there might be a few grant, which they must be received somewhere.
All the ones that, after, I went in and took all the ones that we discussed the last time, and they
Yeah.
are all put in here. Whether they're on the right line or not, I'm
Okay,
not
they're-
gonna swear to, because I
They're
don't-
booked somewhere.
They are
Yeah.
definitely booked somewhere, yeah. And given the balance that we have in the accounts, I believe we significantly did better than what this may show.
I'm just wondering, when we did the budget, if we were trying to hold the budget, right?
Yes. We were trying to hold the budget also for some needed road maintenances that
Right,
have to happen, like some of the tar roads that are
yeah.
terribly crumbling. So that's kind of where we held it.
But right now, our municipal rate's going down,
So,
but
I
our
understand
expenses
that.
this year,
Because-
we're net negative. We
Because you
wanna
took
not
five-
do as much on the surplus.
Right.
Not an accountant, but,
well, I spoke to Liz, because you
Well-
decided when you did the budget of putting some of the surplus in, so that's the.
right, which I think we still,
And again,
collectively,
some of that-
we've got it.
Some of that negative is.
Is money that's here.
But they've also double paid on some bills.
That's.
It may be
that's
minuscule.
insignificant. I think the material number, what you're saying, Jeff, is the 577,500 that you put as revenues. A lot of that is money that's, we're not collecting, but it's already here. That's why the tax rate went down.
Yeah.
You have additional surplus applied of 185, carryover balance of 35, other transfer, those are minor. So I think there is plenty of money to cover, which is why I believe you lowered the rate.
Right, yeah, we were holding on.
Yeah,
Plus the tax rate.
that's it, but the budget went up and the money is there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so now we do.
So now is there a motion for the municipal tax rate to be raised for 26, 27?
Make a motion that we
Yeah.
set the municipal tax rate, the 26-27 year at .4569.
Is there a second? You're thinking.
I know we gotta do this because we've got a deadline, but
Right. Is there something you,
What's your concern, Jeff?
the tax rate went down.
That was ours too, because we did go over a couple times. when we
It
were
was supposed to go
going through all
up,
the numbers.
but not by much. Not it, it was supposed to go up,
Correct, based on our budget going up like 11%.
but we got it down to like 6 or 7.
Nice.
Yes, Steve?
Could we ask the grand list, how much did it go up? 'Cause
Grand list went
if-
up 1.4%.
That's not enough to cover that difference then.
Went up from roughly 29 million to 29,410,410.
So that's not enough to cover the difference.
And was the discount rate being really reduced down?
That,
Down to
that-
3.
yeah, but that's not appropriate to this conversation.
Yeah.
That's meaningless to this conversation.
We gave everybody a discount, so not gonna add up too much, but I guess I just wanna get, yeah.
When's Nimerick?
Monday at 1 o'clock, but that won't change. I mean, the issue, I mean, it's going to, I mean, I calculated by hand and came up with exactly what Nimerick did. I mean, it's raising the 1,333,990 that you guys said, that we voted on in March.
Yeah, yeah, we're not changing that number, like,
No,
that's,
right,
that
so-
is the number.
That is the
And
number.
The grand list is the grand list. The exemptions we give to the veterans in the Odd Fellows Hall are the exemptions.
Yeah.
I mean, this number will not change. no matter
Really, the
what.
only number you can change is the surplus number.
Correct,
But
but then that would change the amount we need to raise. Because your budget for the year is, you're budgeting 1.9 million. You're saying that we have 577, so we're only raising 1.3 million. So changing the surplus number will change the amount we need to raise.
Yeah,
Right.
effectively, if we lowered the surplus, it would, if we lowered the surplus by like 50
Yes.
grand, it would
It would,
Raise the tax.
almost, it would raise the tax rate
That
back
is
probably to
correct.
0.
That is, but then that wouldn't match what.
but we already voted on that budget.
Right, so,
Okay, but we've always had a conversation every year about the surplus, and
We did
I
that.
don't necessarily think
We did that. We had that conversation.
At the budget meeting?
no, but I'm saying every tax, David would ask us about the surplus
Right.
and how much we would apply. I believe.
You're correct, Mike.
Yeah.
Correct.
No,
You're right.
You're
Yeah.
right.
that would be before the vote in March, I
Yes.
No.
believe.
No,
That was
David
this
would
time of
do
year.
it When
Okay.
he was setting the tax rate.
Yeah, when the tax rates were set.
Okay.
Damn it, David.
Okay, guys, now you got an issue with this? You wanna keep it like it is, or you wanna have it changed? What do you wanna do?
We want to put tax bills.
We're running into crunch time.
No, the numbers all,
Yeah, the numbers are numbers.
The numbers
The
are
numbers.
It's
Numbers, right.
just that one number.
And if you change the surplus number and want to raise it, I mean, it'd be easy to calculate.
Because it was always based on, we didn't know what the surplus was gonna be.
correct.
You're making, like, we've ended up in a
Correct.
nice
And-
cash position the past few years.
In-
But
in-
in years past, it was like, what is the surplus, and then that would be the flex
In-
number.
For the last couple of years, we've had great,
FEMA and,
great assets too on interest rates, raising good money.
we've had solid surpluses.
Yes, we've had solid
Except for this
surpluses.
year.
So,
Except for this year.
right.
It's hard to go back on a negative tax rate. You're- And then next year, we swing it the other way by 10%, it's
Correct.
not gonna be well received. You don't wanna do swings.
The important thing also to realize is this only is like 15-18% of people's tax bills. I mean, the real.
I know, it's not a huge thing,
It's-
but
it's
still,
the school
like, this
taxes.
is the only part we're responsible
Yeah.
for as the select board, so I think,
Mhm.
So what you're saying, you wanna bring that, instead of a -5, you wanna bring it to a 0?
I would,
You wanna hold it flat.
at the very least.
Okay, so
I
Mark, you
mean,
got
without
some
me doing
figuring
a
to
deep
do.
dive on the past 5 years of,
So you want to hold,
Just hold it flat.
you want to hold the
The very
tax rate
least.
to what it was last year,
yeah.
4816. Okay.
Rainy days are coming.
we'll make that change.
Okay, so now we gotta make the motion over again.
Yes, so is there a
Is that a
motion?
spreadsheet you can just change and then come back to it and say
I can
later in the
change it
meeting?
right now and tell you what we'll raise.
You need me.
No, I'm gonna change it in my spreadsheet.
Right, that's all the numbers. I don't. We did question that today, when I was a couple times. So that municipal building got down, she said, okay, it's not gonna, it's on you.
Well, it's been the past few years with the storm, or P&Ls and all over the place. They're balanced at the end of the years because the receipts come in for the ink grants the year after. And
Yeah, so I'm sure a big piece of that is the FEMA money.
it's on the last page right there. Which I'm looking back at last year to see where we're at the end of the year. Unless somebody's got a town report.
Right here.
Okay, so instead of $1,343,717, we're gonna raise $1,416,464. So that's about, what, $70,000 more-ish?
Yep. And that's holding it flat to what
That's
last
holding
year.
it flat, putting it at 4816 for this year. Yep.
Your timer's going off.
So what?
I don't know, there's a
Somebody's
timer
beeper.
going off.
That's a battery.
You all right with that, Jeff?
Yeah.
That works?
Yeah, the tax raise will be $1,416,464. I did not go through and do all the calculations for what that does to the increase. You know, with the education, but I will do that later.
Okay, so the rate will be
The
.4816
municipal rate will be .4816, yes.
again, okay.
And if you want to just move on, I can go in and make the adjustments to the other rates on that while you're doing other things.
Okay,
So for the total, yep.
So we're gonna come back to that when Mark finishes all his other rates. So, we're gonna jump down to Conservation Commission update. Bill?
I have 4 items that we've been up to in the last 6 weeks or so. One of them is the weed pulling activity at the swimming area, which and the running of this weed eater thing that's apparently had to be upgraded because the motor wasn't powerful enough to eat the weeds. So, well, it did, but it was struggling. So the fella, Robert, I forgot his last name, was upgraded his motor, to bring it back this weekend. we really need the help from the road crew from Bovee, in fact, to haul the stuff away. So, and I don't know if you've been up there, but look, but you can tell where he's been. It does make a difference. And we're still,
Where's it gonna get hauled away to?
No, I get,
That should pretty much shrivel right up to almost to nothing if you let it
yeah,
dry out.
yeah.
Oh my God.
It's Bridget.
Bridget Sullivan has been putting it up in her field, and I believe,
I also read they can put it on our land as well if they want another location.
where we did last time.
Right, same place.
Yeah.
As Jeff says, it shrivels up, makes good compost, you know.
And we're still in the process of trying to raise some money to help this fellow who's invested. Have you seen the machine? I mean, it's.
I've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, he really is a genius. It's a mechanical stuff. So, you want to go back to that now?
Nope, we're gonna finish yours.
Okay. All right, and we're also actively pursuing with Terry Williams. You all know Terry Williams. He's one of our senators from Rutland County, and he is helping us get through the bureaucracy of, I think it's the Agency of Natural Resources, and I'm not sure which part of it, to try and get the permit at some reasonable cost, which I don't know whether we'll ever be able to afford that either, but at least get some chance to that. And David Martin's pursuing that. And this fella is all on our side. He is a nature lover, and he understands what we're trying to do, so that's good. I don't know whether if you haven't been up to the lake since recently, Gene Fitzgerald has planted a whole bunch of shrubs that we talked about earlier in the year, and most of them, I would say 90% of them, if not more, are thriving, and that'll make a big change to the environment around the beach. Yeah, they're on either side of this lake. There's some, anyway, and I've been actively helping people inoculate their trees against the apple. And so far, we have, I think, close to 300 inoculations, and that's probably, unfortunately, it's probably only about 30 trees, because it's, or so probably maybe 35, because it's a typical tree that's about so big around takes about 10 injectors. So anyway, that's going ahead, and I think we'll probably keep going as long as the trees are taking the juice, because they stop after a while, you know. By the middle of August, they're essentially thinking, hey, winter's coming. Anyway, and that's it. I mean, we're going to continue with all of these things, and hopefully do some more things on trails and recreational opportunities. And we've been working with Shrewsbury on invasive species. So, and how to identify them, helping people identify them. And they have a program where they get a team of people and go out and rip them out. We haven't managed to do that yet. Anyway, that's it.
Any questions for Phil? Yes, Steve.
The permit you're going for from the state,
Yeah.
what's it for?
It's for expanding the area where we've cleaning out the weeds. So we want to have
They mean on the lake body itself.
on the lake itself. We want to have kayak and whatever else, fishing pads. And, you know, something maybe as wide as this room, and maybe in total, maybe a mile. So that the lake will at least be accessible. It's not. And if you go up and look, you can see where Robert is around with his feet, machine. And it's impressive that he's actually getting it.
Very good, Phil, thank you. Okay, we're gonna jump back to the tax rate.
So with the tax rate going back and keeping it flat from last year, the homestead rate combined, state and town, is up 6.4%, and the non-homestead rate is up 7.12%. Education tax stays at 7.8 and 8.8. And that's keeping it flat.
So now, with the updated tax rate of holding it flat, is there a motion?
Okay. Make the motion that we set the tax rate for the coming 26-27 year at 0.4816%, the same as last year.
Not percent, cents.
Cents.
Cents per thousand.
Cents per thousand.
Per mill rate. Yeah.
The same rate as last year.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
The ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Just have to change that one number.
Okay, that's done.
Okay. Now moving on to new business. Appointment of Board of Adjustment members and alternate. We got some letters here. Yeah, it's one full-time member and 2 alternates. This one is for the 3-year position. We have 2 for the 3, 2 for the alternate. Okay, we have, for the 3-year term, we have 2 individuals. The individual within the position now, Jimmy Seward, sent a letter to remain within the Board of Adjustment, and a new applicant, Diane, you wanna read that?
Interest in vacant Board of Adjustment position. Dear Mount Holly Selectboard, I am writing to formally express my interest in the vacant Board of Adjustment 3-year term position. Although I do not have specific zoning experience, I do have personal experiences. I have purchased and sold property with and without a realtor. I obtained a permit to replace a failed wastewater system, as well as a permit for a new system, different location. I obtained a property line adjustment and had a water well drilled. I am applying for the Board of Adjustment position for I believe it will provide me with the opportunity to serve the local community that I have been a part of for over 30 years. Respectfully, Donald Patch.
Any questions, thoughts?
I have no questions.
Okay. So, I'm gonna make a motion to reinstate Jimmy Seward to the Board of Adjustments. Is there a second for the 3-year term?
I'll second.
The ayes?
Aye.
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 Then we have 2 individuals for 2 positions for the alternates. Julie Parcells wants to continue as an alternate, and Dennis Devereaux would like to continue as an alternate. So I'll make a motion that we reinstate Dennis Devereaux and Julie Parcells to fill the alternate positions. Is there a second?
I'll second.
The ayes?
Aye.
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 Okay, Act 162, Forest Fire Warden. Now this is something that the state had instituted to take effect, I think it was July 1st of 26, where the fire department chief will be responsible for burn permits, but he is also allowed to have an assistant continue or do those same requirements that the fire warden, Jim, has done in the past. So
Mark?
yes,
I know, that, Philly has asked Jim to be the assistant
to continue.
fire warden to keep continuing doing what he's been doing for the past
Forever.
50 years or whatever, but. Yeah, so
15,
the
20.
numbers are gonna still be the same, they're gonna contact Jim, and then Jim's gonna contact her, right? Do I got that right?
Something like that.
Yeah.
As
Contact Jim, and then Jim can contact Billy and tell him that
this,
there's a burn permit, so.
okay. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think anything has to change within the town
No.
or the select boards.
No.
So, other than the state mandating that the fire chief is responsible for the ownership, but he also can select an individual to maintain it, so. Status quo will continue as we were for the fire warden position within the town.
How does that work as far as Jim's stipend? Does he still gets the stipend, right, each year? Is that still part of it?
I don't know if the state will be giving any stipends. The town did, and whether you continue it or not, I don't know. That's up to you. But the state may cut theirs off. It wouldn't surprise me. I just happen to know that the fire wardens tends to burn a fair amount of gas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as far as I'm concerned, and the board can chime in at any point, I would just leave it as status quo, because.
Continue as we have been.
Continue as we have been, because there is a fair amount of traveling and calls and responses that.
It sounds like a chain in command change, like
It is.
where Billy would then just appoint.
It is. It is. He appointed Jim already to do it.
And then we just,
Continue.
that position would still have the same
Yes,
stipend,
same stipend.
as long as the meeting reflects.
I agree. I agree. Just leave it as status quo.
Okay, continue.
I think he's got a new title, he might be the deputy fire warden.
Yes, that's what it is.
The
Yeah.
deputy fire.
So the deputy fire warden, the
Yes.
fire warden stipend will now go to the deputy fire warden.
Correct.
Be a
Correct. What was that?
A badge.
No, what was that dog?
Deputy.
Deputy dog.
Deputy dog or
Deputy
deputy
dog.
dog?
Deputy dog.
Deputy dog.
Okay, so that's gonna remain status quo. So Jim will be the deputy fire warden under Bill's direction.
So I
Okay,
gotta
then we have-
change the notice in the paper now.
Yes. So then we have to move on to the new business cider days, road closures. Linda?
Yes. So, the Mount Holly Community Association, was concerned about the parking and the traffic last year for cider days, and so was the town. So we came up with a few new additions, changes. The first thing is that we want to continue to close Maple Hill Road. We have done that in the past. We'd like to continue to do that with the understanding that if there's an emergency that needs to go that way, that it's a quick breakdown. The second thing we'd like to do is after the square, and I have a map and the whole write-up here with me, we want to close the road from the Belmont Square to Lake Street. So that section pretty much right in front of Mount Holly Brew and the store. For just extra vendors, to centralize the vendors, to allow for better traffic, because the traffic would come down the hill and go up Lake Street, and then come back down Church Street and through town, down Tarbellville Road. And then the third thing we wanted to do was limit the parking in town to one side of the road or the other on Church Street, Healdville, and Tarbellville, so that vehicles can get through. That was the biggest complaint last year. People were parking on both sides and couldn't get anywhere. So we'd like some guidance on which side of the road on those three roads to close. And then the fourth thing was we'd like some help with road closure signs, cones, help with the logistics of doing those things. Normally we take care of the logistics that we've already done in the past, but this is above and beyond. So we thought we would ask for guidance from the select board.
You may want to contact the fire department for road cones and that kind of stuff,
Okay.
and ask for their assistance.
Do we have road closure signs for the town at all?
No,
Okay,
Very few.
We have a couple.
okay. Well, we only need one or two. One.
I personally don't want to see Belmont Road closed to Tarbellville, because that is the main route. If anything.
For emergencies?
Yeah. Because if you're coming up Belmont Hill and have to turn up Lake Street, you're not gonna make that corner to come back down Church Street.
exactly.
So,
Especially if you're in a fire vehicle or a large vehicle.
Too sure.
yeah.
Way too sharp.
How about that on the street? How about closing from the corner of Tarbellville and Maple Hill Road to go straight up by the church and stop at, is that Lake Street up on the end of that? Or is that Church Street?
No.
No, that, Lake Street is up by the lake, Oddfellows.
Oh, that's what I thought, so leave
Yeah.
that one.
Well, that's where the fire
Leave the
department
one in
is.
front of, is that Church Street? I don't know. If they close that, then at least they would have.
Yes, Dennis.
Road down.
I certainly think parking on one side of the street
I did
instead
too.
of both, and maybe see how it goes this year, see how much it helps. I'm sure it's gonna help, because I'd come up through and somebody's coming down and somebody's gotta back up or do something different.
Right.
I mean, it's worth at least
You're gonna have to
trying
still back up even if there's only one side of traffic. Because you're not gonna be able to meet three wide if somebody's coming up through, even with parking on one side.
There'll have to be a lot of notices put out with a map.
So you prefer
Lose their side mirrors.
the Oddfellows Road closed?
Yeah, they'll lose a lot more than that.
Yeah, I mean,
One side makes sense.
what, move the stuff that's gonna be in front of the store up Maple Hill. If you're gonna close Maple Hill, have everything up Maple Hill.
But then how would you have any kind of through traffic for emergency services?
They'll have to move if something major is going on up at Maple Hill.
And that's always
It's
been the
gotta be,
understanding.
it's gotta be opened anyhow.
But there's not typically a whole lot in front where the store is,
It's just
or
saying.
within their parking lot.
Yeah,
Only
within their
one church street.
space, so.
Parking is the biggest,
We've also discussed other alternatives to parking, like trucking people in. We're trying to avoid that because it's a lot of logistics on our part. Volunteers, space, marking, just, so we have a couple spots that we're considering. We were trying for this one first. And then we will discuss, we have our meeting at the beginning of August, almost said April, to discuss the outcome of today and to try and come up with a better plan so that we can be here again next month.
so if I'm not mistaken, the Healdville portion, it comes straight down over. As far as rescue, fire department, you're saying no.
So it's Church Street that you're
Church
talking
Street.
about.
It's Church Street.
Yeah.
Connects to Healdville, Church
Right,
Street, then
right.
Lake Street's
I
in front of the
mean,
lake.
it's the same road.
They
Same.
were talking about closing from Lake Street to
Right, to Belmont Road.
Belmont.
Right, and that's,
No,
okay. So that one's off the table.
that's just my opinion, but I just,
And so that's for road crew. Should I talk with the fire department about that as well? Or, I mean, I believe that,
Well, that's because the fire department's on Church Street right there.
right,
And if they were to come out and have to go up and turn Lake Road, they couldn't
they
make that
couldn't
corner.
make that corner.
So,
Okay,
Church Street has to remain open.
okay. I mean, Belmont Road has to remain open, Church
Right.
Street has to remain open. That's basically what you're saying.
right.
Right. Lake Street, no.
Yeah, that's, really doesn't help.
I know it don't. I know it don't.
We, yeah,
Based on Maple Hill Road, I guess.
Yeah, and that's for emergency vehicles.
right.
I don't know, why not Lake Street, for the simple reason that you see the line of people and they go all the way up top of the hill and
Well, that's a
beyond.
new thing that we've started, since we did the, started the cow plop, is that we go up the hill to the cow plop, and now we have vendors up there as well. We were gonna try and contain it and bring it back down into the village, so it's not so far away. But we will consider Lake Street.
If you can make up a map,
I have a map.
and also for the final draft, maybe we post it in the newspaper so that people can see where they can park and not park.
Right. So a little, the other piece of it was the guidance on which side of the road to close off. If there's a particular one that's worse than the other, on Tarbellville Road, and on Church and Healdville.
Carverville is really not that bad because it's wide enough to where you can
To the
pull
third.
off to the shoulder.
Right.
Providing
they pull off.
Right.
It won't be an issue on either side, I think, until somebody blocks somebody's driveway.
Right.
Then
And they
it'll be,
haven't been doing that.
then it'll be an issue.
Right.
So, do you prefer any sides of the roads?
I mean, Carverville, I would say right side because there's no houses on that right side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Belmont Road,
Doesn't matter.
yeah,
Pretty equal all the way up.
pretty equal all the way up, so.
When you say right side.
Actually on Belmont Road, it's better on the left-hand side because on the right-hand side at the top of the hill, it drops right off.
Left side going which way, right side?
Coming into the.
Coming
village.
into town?
The village.
So
Coming into
going,
the village.
yeah, going into the village on the right-hand side is the better one to leave open.
In far as Healdville, on the right-hand side going out of Vermont.
Yeah.
is probably a good one.
The one to close or keep open?
Well, to park on one side.
Right. So if you're going up Church Street,
Yeah.
which side?
I'd say on the right-hand side,
To keep that open for parking?
yeah.
Because
If
that's
people,
next to the vendors.
if people are gonna park, I would say, above the fire department,
Right,
as long as they're not interfering with the swing of the truck.
okay.
Need a meadow close.
Wait, I'm
Yes,
just
Steve.
going to
We need
clarify
shorter
when
trucks.
when they were talking about Tarperville, you're talking on the museum side of the road.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
yes.
Coming down Belmont by the cemetery, there's a hell of a ditch
Yeah.
on that right side.
Just-
Just saying.
Just,
Yeah.
it's only like 100 feet, so.
Yeah. 4th of July, that's where they were parked.
Yeah.
All the way up
All the
the
way
hill
up.
on the
Yeah.
right-hand side.
And
So,
one other thought, I don't know how many vendors they're gonna have, but if they could have one side of Belmont, let's say on the Deer side, up to Lake Street, if they wanted to, then go up Lake Street with the vendors, and if necessary, take over in front of the lake, or even go into the odd fellows, if they had that many vendors. But then they would have a connection where people would see, vendors that way. Last year, because they had to be above the fire department, I don't think a lot of people, unless they were told, were aware that there were vendors up there.
We had 3 maps printed, very, very large,
Right.
right in the center of town.
Yeah, I know.
So if you didn't look at the map, then, yeah.
I
But the
didn't notice.
map tells you all about the event, so
I just went where I wanted to go and that was it.
Drag people
for
easily.
people that don't,
That was a busy
Oh,
year.
I read.
There's a lot of people that don't read.
Yeah.
My question is.
And the gal with the soap.
To Steve is, when you said the odd fellows, just parking on the outside, Steve, or vendors there? Because
my-
there's a dinner there.
Well,
That
my
day.
suggestion was if they had enough vendors, then they could do along the beer side of Belmont and then curve up Lake Street. And I doubt they would need that many more, but that whole, close Lake Street if you wanted to.
Just so you know, it got so bad in Peru, Vermont, for their Peru fair, you have to park about a mile away and be bus carted in.
and
Stop.
they've
Shuttle.
canceled it.
yeah, Peru,
Because
Peru,
of
they did away with the
They
Peru.
did away
Yeah.
with it because it got too big.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what we're worried about. We're trying to, make sure that that doesn't happen.
Right.
Losing control.
But, okay, well, we'll take that into consideration and we'll be back in
Yeah.
August.
Okay, and it's just, for emergency vehicles on Church Street.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Okay, the next one is cemetery commissioner, or commissions, Dennis?
Yeah, so there's a few issues here. The first one has to do with the, I supplied Faith and Carol with a letter that was passed in 2009 by the select board that raised the price of cemetery lots to $500. Well, at that time, only one cemetery in town, across some countryside, Lock and Iron Turnpike, was selling a few lots and stuff, $500. So the Packer one came over to the town 4 or 5 years ago, and the last one to buy them was the Jansen family. And now I'm getting ready to start selling lots. We've got a new deed made out, and we've got sketches and stuff so we can assign lot numbers and stuff. So I've got people ready to buy, and I didn't offer the 200 because that was the old association, that was the town one. But we didn't know that that letter from 2009 existed until a couple weeks ago that raised them to $500. So I would like you to change where it says, I don't know if you've got it in front of you, where it says Mount Holly Cemetery. If you would make that plural to Mount Holly Cemeteries and have it take effect September 1st, then it would help me get those lots sold because I already gave them the price. and there's more that might be sold and stuff. So do you want to take a second to look at it? Can you find it? It's a very short thing that was passed in 2009. Take a look at it.
You sure you don't want to raise it up to $600?
I'm not sure, I'm just throwing it out. So $500.
It will be the same as East Wallingford.
Well, 500 would probably be about the lowest cost in the state, because even Maple Grove and East Wallingford is 600, and I can assure you, talking to other cemetery commissioners around the area, nobody's getting even, well, $500 is about as low as we can go. And speaking with Diana about this earlier, she suggested to make sure that the town treasurer is involved. So if we could, that's why I'm saying town treasurer is involved. So maybe we could, at the time, if we get the 500 per lot or 600 per lot, that maybe half of it go into a perpetual care fund, which you're probably supposed to create and have anyway. One thing that came over with the Packer Cemetery, when it was an association, came over about $6,500. Money came over, and I had shared a few people that had family and lots over there, that as far as I'm concerned, that money would be isolated and used for that cemetery. And there are trees and mowing that need to be done. And so over time, we have to access the outside of the cemetery and go through the Hawkins family. And they can have the wood, it doesn't matter to me, but we need access to get, we're keeping an eye on all the trees, I can assure you. But I'd like you to change that to plural, just in case we sell one, where it says Mount Holly Cemetery, make that cemeteries, and make it effective, reissue it, pass it again, takes effect September 1st. That's my first issue.
We'd have to make a new motion because it's a new.
Right.
It's a new cemetery that came to the town.
Right. Do you want to do that before I go on, or what do you want to do?
I'm involved, I was part of the first lot.
No, keep going, Dennis.
Okay. So the mowing help. I keep appealing for mowing help and volunteers. I've lost a couple. I've gained a couple. The one we were paying, the only paid one in town, not the private, big one in Belmont. That's a private association. But the only one we were spending like $200 a month on was the Packer Cemetery and stuff. So the retiree that was doing it the last couple of years didn't want to do it, and I told him I could probably get $250 to $300, once a month, not much trimming and stuff, and so he really wasn't interested. So I've been appealing. You see it on the news flash. I just put one out last week again. I'm not getting much of a response and stuff. So I don't know. My oldest son helps me in some of them. We don't have enough help. Joe Turco helped me because the Packer one was so high there in early June. When I put the flags out the end of May, I didn't realize it hadn't been mowed, until a few weeks later when I heard how high it was. So we mowed it, but I don't know what we can do. I would like to use maybe some of that. I did send an appeal to Joe and Jamie Fitzgerald saying it's not thick, heavy grass. It's high, but it mows pretty fast, and maybe do it once a month and not do any trimming. I don't mind doing a little weed whacking, and I've got help with a little weed whacking. But I haven't got an answer from them yet. But so I'm not sure if we want to use some of that money that came over. Moving the trees is definitely expensive. We know the price of that has gone crazy. But maybe we might have to offer a little more money and use some of that money. Dave Johnson was a little hesitant to use it, and I said, that's what it came over for that cemetery and stuff. And I'm not trying to burn through the money or anything, but at least we've got probably 60 lots to sell over there. There's no other lots basically to be had in town, pretty much. So at least there could be some money coming in to maintain the fund and stuff. I just wanted you to know that I'm asking for help and stuff. The other thing is a trees issue, and there's always trees. So last year, after July 1st, it was approved some money to get that tree down in the Carlton Cemetery, one big maple in the middle of there. And GM Tree Tech put me off, and finally he told me at the end of November he wasn't going to do it. So then in the spring, I talked to the Bickfords and a few other people, started getting prices. Bickfords gave me a high price, and when I told him what some of the other quotes were, he came down, 4 guys, $100 an hour for 8 hours, $3,200. And so I said, well, okay, we'll think about it and stuff. But a month or so later, Clinton got involved with some on the beach, 3 or 4 on the beach that need to come down, and he talked to Bickfords about taking that one down for $3,500. It's in the ballpark. There was $3,100 left in the account, and money came over July 1st in the new budget and stuff. So he got it down before July 1st. The thing is, he was supposed to take, I thought for $3,500 he was getting everything but the 10-foot high stump. The 10-foot high stump, they can't get their equipment in there. It's got a big crack down the middle, and it's going to go eventually. But at least by getting most of the branches off, it's a lot lighter than it was. But I was surprised when I went over to look that the Bickfords, I know it's hard to get in there and they can't get their equipment in there. There's one piece, 4 pieces hanging above the 12-foot, 8-foot stump. One goes up 15, 20 feet, the others go up about 10 or 15. And I don't know what we can do and stuff, but I thought when they agreed to $3,500 to take everything but the stump down, that they were going to take it all down. And Clinton, maybe you could respond a little, what we could do or handle this?
He took it down to the best of his safety ability. It's a big maple tree, okay? He did not feel comfortable taking it down any further without having a piece of equipment. The only other way to get in there would be to have a 100-foot crane sit in the driveway to reach out there to take the rest of it down. You're talking probably $20,000 to take it down to the 10-foot piece that you want left standing. He did, like I said, he did the best he could, safety-wise, to be able to take it down as far as he could. So.
What I'm worried about is the crack is growing. Water gets in there and freezes and thaws in the winter, and eventually it's going to go. Well, I'm back to the same problem. And when it goes, it's going to destroy cemetery stones because of the tall ones that were left. So I don't know what we do with this. If there's a daredevil out there or somebody that wants a big challenge, but it's dangerous. It's dangerous work.
The worst problem is if you try to go in there with a piece of equipment and you go through a cemetery, a grave, you're looking at a lot more than $20,000 project. So.
The stone wall would have to be opened a little bit to let a piece of equipment in there, and I don't know what you'd do about getting something in there really close to how far they could reach. But this is the problem with trees and cemeteries. And they
You know somebody who can do chainsaw art?
What's that?
You know somebody who can do chainsaw art?
There's a guy on one of
Bovie, do you?
gases.
I don't.
It's dangerous.
I'm going to stop it and make a motion to take the Packard Cemetery and raise the rates to be equivalent with the Mount Holly Cemetery across from Blazes to be at $500 per lot starting September 1st. Is there a second?
Second.
The ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Also change it to Mount Holly Cemeteries.
Please.
Yes.
Okay, excellent.
And I will work with Mark about seeing how we can isolate some stuff and maybe, direct some to a perpetual care, which it probably should be anyway. I mean, I think
Right.
most of them have that down there.
Well, yeah, they do. What they do is 50-50.
Right. A lot of them do it that way.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if we ever did it. I wasn't aware of it in the budget anywhere. So.
Okay, the other piece of the agenda is the CODA and CODA contract for the town office.
What happened with this?
This is just for this business.
This is for propane.
This is for the propane. Yes,
Semi propane.
yes.
Right, it's
For the town
propane, town garage, the vault.
It's not a
Heater.
huge- Not a huge volume.
It's not a huge volume.
No, it's about
The price
500
is
gallons.
capped. For cap price auction is at $3.05 per gallon.
1,050 gallons.
Yeah, 1,050 gallons. Total price protection is $409.50. And the capped budget for 1,050 gallons is still $3.05 per gallon for a total of $3,202.50. And the price protection is still at $409.50. And a 10-month budget payment plan is $362 a month.
And what we've done in the past is pay as you go.
Yeah.
No, actually what we've done is the capped price
Price.
option with the price protection fee.
Right.
And we sent them like, what, 30, it was 3,600 and change. Well, that would be this year.
Yeah,
Because you're gonna do that 409.
yeah, last year
50.
that was only.
3? Yeah. Yes, Steve?
I'm just wondering, was this, I forgot, previous month, you did 3 bids and this was the lowest bid?
No, this one is just because Coda and Coda for propane, we've just used them solely. We've single sourced them for as long as I've been on the board.
I think a few years back, we did try to get pricing.
Yeah, and we
but it
didn't.
was
Not even competitive.
And then it became a service issue.
Yep.
Because I know Markel and the
When we go to the heating oil and the town garage fuel, then that goes out to bids.
Right.
Which is a lot larger of a dollar amount.
Well, Marcel does do propane as well, but we'd have to change out all the tanks.
Yes, just recently they just started doing it
Yes.
last year,
It last 2
So-
years.
2 years, yeah.
With the service contracts and everything, it was always easier with Coda and Coda. I know we've done Coda and Coda as long as I've been on the board.
I just was thinking.
Yes, Carol?
And when I spoke to Howard last year, he even suggested staying with Coda and Coda.
Yeah.
He said he wasn't interested in taking it away from them.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that don't do the service side of it as well either anymore.
And that's very expensive.
It is. So is there a motion?
Make a, you wanna go?
No, you can do it.
Make a motion, we continue on with Coda and Coda with a capped price option.
I'll second the motion.
The ayes? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to old business. Review bids for paving Hortonville Road.
Sealing the bid. Here, you wanna open them?
Sure, I can do that part.
First one's Pike Industries
Oh my God, oh my God.
for a,
Need a letter opener.
you can total it up. I gotta add the 2 totals together. Let's make a bid form. Mr. Mullins didn't fill it all out. 188, $779.50. Pike Industries. Wilk Paving, total 194, 796.50. Springfield Paving, $189, 875.00. they've been around for a while, they just don't usually go over this way. And then the last one's Fuller Sand and Gravel. And they're 166, 577, 50. Get those numbers. So the little bit is Fuller Sand and Gravel.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Pike, number 3 is Springfield, and 4 is Wilk.
Wilk's under new ownership too, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
I think so. I think they sold out.
2.
I'm sure. Well, I would, I don't want to see Fuller's.
Fuller's usually does,
Yes.
They've always been
That's good.
historically the low bid.
No, this one's
I was gonna say, that's.
Whoops.
I'm gonna make a motion, that we accept the paving contract, from Fuller for 166, 577.50, for Hortonville Road. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
The ayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we want to make another motion budget-wise, just to go farther, to use up the retreatment so we're not, this be the one paving move this year to match the dollar amount? Because I put in the RFPs like plus or minus, like we reserve the right to change the quantity, but I think the total between what we budgeted plus what we carried over.
That's doing the intersection as well.
We still gotta do.
Yeah, we would just go longer up Hortonville, like if we can get another 50 feet, 100 feet.
Right,
That's fine.
Just get it done.
right.
Do you remember what you carried, this 55?
I think you said 220 was the number, and I found in the income for like 182. So I didn't find the 220 that you mentioned. I don't know that it didn't come before.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
50.
I had 182.
166 versus 182.
182 is the number that I found.
It's like 18.
I think that's what we,
I don't, you said a 220 number that I
Just the
don't.
Faith, some of those carry a certificate for the roads
because right now we've got in
with their
the,
bids.
for road retreatment 266 in last year's report, well, you know, in the year end.
Right.
And we got a paving grant for 200. And we budgeted for 120. So it's 120, it's basically 120 minus 66, 221.
54.
Yeah, that sounds great. So 53, 179. Plus, what's our current budget?
182, was it?
No, it's like
No, that was
130.
a deposit that I found. from
Oh, a
Grant.
deposit.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. 181, 8 something or other.
Getting there, getting there, getting there.
We did 140, I think it was.
It was either 140 or 132, I think
Oh,
I
yeah.
think you bumped it down.
yeah, we slightly, but it's.
Yeah.
Road retreatment. 132, I think that was, well, it was 140. So 132 plus 53, 179.
185.
Minus 166. What was this total? 166, 577?
Yes, yes.
We have 18 grand buffer, which we can either hold on for other stuff this year.
For patching.
Yeah, we will have a couple patches.
I'd hold it on because you gotta dig across Healdville for culvert.
Yeah.
I'd hold it for patching.
Okay, so maybe just identify in the meeting minutes, this, we have 18,602
left over.
left over in the retreatment budget.
Yeah, and we'll need it for doing some road patches on Healdville and wherever else.
There's one by, I believe, I gotta look, but up by, Ron Underman's, I believe that culvert that crosses up by his,
Collapsing.
is collapsing. There's getting, yeah.
Yes, Dennis?
I understand the Hortonville Road and stuff, but I thought a few months ago, you were talking about the one from the railroad tracks in Dealville heading toward the cheese factory. Is that not happening, or part of it still happening?
And that's not happening this year. Hortonville was actually coming apart worse. The cracks are gapped and there's some pretty big holes. That'll have to be the next budget cycle.
Right. Well, I don't know where the money's gonna come from. I know the county can do it. I don't know if the state's
I
gonna
don't
do
know.
it. but
There's been no grants.
Well,
It's
the
been-
feds were gonna raise the gas tax a little bit to help out every state, and they're hesitant to raise it because the price is so high.
Rightfully
In fact, they
so.
were even gonna lower it,
Right.
reduce it for a while.
Rightfully so, because the American people are taxed hard enough as it is. So. Okay, that's for the paving. Dog license, census update.
Okay, Faith and I have not turned it over to the sheriff yet because we had people coming in, so we're down to 13 dog owners, but 16 dogs.
And their,
I think their time's up, I think it needs to go to the
Yep.
sheriff.
fine. It is what it is. It can go to animal control. Yep,
Well, time,
send it.
all 5 of them.
Any questions on that? Just so people understand, dog licenses, there's 13 individuals with 16 dogs that have failed to register. And at this point, they are going to be turned over to animal control to deal with, which is the sheriff's department.
And that's 16 dogs that we don't know have rabies certificates or not.
We do
and
not.
16 dogs that could bite somebody and then cause
Correct.
them to have to do rabies shots,
Correct.
which is really the purpose of dog licensing.
It is the purpose. And it's pretty sad to say if a child is
Poor
being
dog. Yep.
if a child is being bit by a dog that you cannot prove has rabies or not, or it shots, and they physically have to go through the shots themselves, that's pretty traumatizing to a young kid.
Awful for a kid.
So, so at this point in time, turn it over to animal control and the sheriff's department can deal with it. Okay, moving on. August wedding fireworks.
I think Diana had put this on the agenda, but just as a reminder, we issued a permit to pyrotechnico fireworks for the Sherwin wedding. The permit has the following conditions. One of them, well, a representative pyrotechnico will consult with the chief of Mount Holly Fire
Correct.
Department or the Mount Holly Fire Warden 1 month in advance and running again 1 week in advance to ensure that there are no concerns regarding the weather. I don't know if the fire warden has received any communication.
Fire warden doesn't handle that.
It's Billy who would handle that as the fire department.
That goes straight to the fire department.
Can there be a cutoff time on this? Should there be a cutoff time on this?
The wedding's coming up August 8th.
No, time of day, like night.
Oh,
Past
we
the
say by 10.
Right,
Did we say
maybe we
10?
just add that.
The thing is, there was some discussion about that, and they did come back to me, and I said that you had asked as a courtesy to everyone, would it be over by 10?
Correct.
It wasn't clear to me how they were interpreting this.
So that has to be into this letter.
Well, that was issued.
Yeah, I know.
Quite some time ago. I mean, we could note that, I'll check with Billy.
Yes.
If they haven't followed up with him, we could note that they're already in contravention.
Correct. And if they haven't reached out to Billy, you know, this stands subject to be null and void because they're in violation of their agreement.
And just a courtesy to the community, like, even if it's
Yeah.
we can't enforce it, it would be at least good to the board
Right.
say, please be done.
There used to be 3 people that could, or 3 entities that could take and authorize fire days. One was a constable, fire chief, and a select board. I don't know if they've changed the rulings on it now or not.
We typically, the last discussion we had as a board, typically leave it up to the fire chiefs because, you know, they're directly responsible for anything that could or may
They have to
happen.
deal with it.
Yes, they're gonna have to deal with it. So that's why we left it into the fire department's
I mean,
realm.
it would almost be wise on the part of the people doing this fireworks to have a truck come in and stand by during the fire.
Kind of like what the Scarzellos used to do.
Yes.
Yep.
But
Okay.
that's-
So we'll reach out to Billy on this and we'll find out if they have reached out to him or not. And if not, we can send them a letter that, you know, they're in violation of their permit.
Maybe they need his contact information. Well, it's all on the chit
It's all there, yeah. Okay, so that one's covered. Bowesville Bridge replacement update.
So, David Peterson, who is the project manager for this, has provided the final draft plans. And he would appreciate any comments the town may have by July the 24th. Assuming that nothing has to be changed, the next step is to advertise the project construction, and the advertising date is set for September the 2nd, 2026, with construction scheduled to begin on April 15th, 2027. He has also clarified in the letter that while the construction phase will be funded 100% by federal resources, the engineering and right-of-way phases continue to be funded at 80% federal, 10% state, and 10% town match. The final estimate to do that part of the work is $443,500. Therefore, the town's match would be $44,350.
Which we haven't budgeted.
But we've got
We've got
a
it.
bridge for 92K. We're getting a bridge for $44,000
Yeah.
and we don't have to lift a finger.
No, I know.
A really
That's-
nice bridge.
That's really cheap for what the bridge costs. The nice part of it is the existing bridge is not going to be closed, so that'll be an access point until the new bridge is built and in place. So we won't have to have a temporary bridge put in or anything, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, thankfully the property owners around there helped out so that we could get that on the line right away.
Absolutely, I have to, you know,
Make it
tip our hats
safer.
off to the property owners
Big
for,
thank you for that.
for doing what they did for the adjustment of the property, of moving the bridge so it's perpendicular to the highway, so it's not on an angle, which was a big help.
So if there are any comments, you can get them back to me by next week.
If you don't hear from me, it means I'm okay with it. I'll go through it as much as I can with my glasses. No, Jeff, any questions on it?
Nope.
Okay, that's perfect. Moving on, we've had a letter sent to the town for jump ordinance on Station Road. Okay, they're very specific on the property owner. They specifically sent this letter directly to me, not directly, but addressed it directly to me. It says, "Hello, Mark, the hijacks are at it again. We never thought it could get any worse, but it did." It continues to say they cleared out the property next to them, left all the tree trunks on the side of the road, and already started a dump trash into an empty lot. The lot itself is, unfortunately, can hold a great deal of trash. Dumping tires is a mosquito breeding ground. They proceeded to say the poor individuals across from the road from them can't sell their house. Trucks have been seen pulling up to their property and dumping trash. And there it said there's a mattress there this morning. It's becoming a health hazard. And a bear, or crossing to the bears for the neighbors. Go take a look. We're frustrated. I can say I have been traveling that road quite frequently lately because I'm reinstalling a sugar bush on the state land. They did have an excavator in there. They removed, I don't know, at least 3 junk vehicles and 1 motorhome and a camper out. So they are taking stuff out. I know the demolition of the campers, yes, left plywood shards and wood pieces, and they had the frame there that they did take out on a trailer to the scrap yard. And yes, there is some big hemlock trees that were dumped over the bank that they're pulling up to remove. I'm not saying we're not going to send a letter. We'll definitely send a letter out, asking for their support in cleaning the property up. But I do know Mr. Hijack did come and see me personally, because I did talk to him personally about this not too long ago, and he committed to cleaning it up. And with the removal of the vehicles in those 2 campers or motorhome, I would say it is a start. It's not necessarily the prettiest, but I can't say he hasn't started. But we will definitely send him a letter to make sure it continues. Any?
Just to that point, and somebody on that street is grieving there.
In the letter, it says, "Sincerely, Patricia Labella," and Susan Kilshmer? Kilsheimer? Excuse me for destroying it, but those are the 2 individuals that did send the letter.
That's not who's grieving their taxes.
No,
Correct. And,
it's the other people
and
across the road.
So he's the other one. This is out of his pocket.
yes, and there was an anonymous one that was sent. I can't use this because you have to sign it and date it for it to become an actionable item. So for those people that are listening, if you have, junk ordinance complaints and so forth, and you want to send a letter to the select board to address some of these with a letter, please, you have to sign and date it. If you leave it anonymous, it's not an actionable item the board can take. So we'll definitely send a letter to the Station Road residents to continue their work, and we'll mention it in there that they have done some work. Anything else, Jeff, Diane?
Not for that one.
Okay, moving on. Citizens' comments, concerns? Quiet, okay. This is one thing that we had talked about before. I'm going to read this. Big enough. No, the letters are big enough. In recognition of David H. Johnson for the invaluable contributions made to all offices he held for the town of Mount Holly, Justice of the Peace, Auditor of the Town and School Accounts, Town and School Treasurer, Trustee of Public Funds, Planning Commission, Lister, Board of Adjustments, Alternate, Assistant Treasurer, elected 1984 to 2025. This is in memory of David to be hung on the wall.
Wow.
So I think it's a big accomplishment, and I just wish David was here to see his accomplishments be honored. And he is truly missed within the positions that he has held.
Much so.
Okay, announcements. August Select Board meeting date change.
We got elections on the 11th. The primary. So, do we want to move to the 12th?
Just move it to the 12th.
Does that work for everybody?
It works. I should say it works for me because I'm retired, but maybe not. Yes, it works for me.
Retired people are supposed to go on vacation, you're not going on vacation.
I'm never on vacation.
It doesn't work.
Okay, so that's going to be August 12th at 6.
Haven't got there yet.
Needed executive session. Okay, I'm gonna make a motion. Nope, review and sign the orders,
You did that.
which we did. I'm gonna make a motion for executive session, Title I, VSA S313 A3, personnel.
I second.
The ayes? Aye.
All right.